Hello and welcome to Chart of the Day Cafe for Thursday, June 28th, 2018. Read our disclaimer quickly. Trading stocks is a high level of risk and viewers should complete their own due diligence on any stock or underlying that they intend to own. 100% of the content of this video and communique is intended for journalistic and educational purposes only. This video and all indicators, strategies, and articles herein should not be construed as investment advice, not making any recommendations, always for your further homework. Good morning, Sue here on this second to last trading day in the month of June. Hope you've had a good week so far. Lots of interesting things happening in the market for sure. So with that, let's get into today's video. If you know me, you know I always start my videos off with a look at the Russell Index. I use the Russell as my simple proxy for the markets overall. As long as the Russell is moving higher, I'm adding new names to my watch list. When it's moving lower, I'm getting defensive and being extra cautious. So we're looking at the bear chart. This is the 5-year monthly. It's the IWM, which is the ETF that represents the Russell 2000 5-year monthly chart. Monthly candles. I don't have any indicators on my chart except for the blue line, which is the 8-day EMA. I use that as my guide. You can see so far the candle for the month of June has a long wick at the top, expressing some price exhaustion. Having said that, we're coming into the top of the range on that bullish candle for the month of May. So you never know, we might find some support in this area. It's important to keep an open mind. The markets could go any way. We'll see what happens and where they lead us. So I am just going to put my drums back on to get a point of reference. I try to keep my charts as uncluttered as I possibly can. I'm ignoring these lines down here for now. This is long-term support resistance, more medium. The pink is short-term, but as I always say, this black diagonal line is probably the most important line on my chart. Why? Because it held price in on the Russell through all of 2017, and then we had this price action that took us up and over until February of this year. March, April, all traded below or closed below the black diagonal line, and the month of May pushed us up and over. So here we are for June. I just think it's really important to get that bigger picture look. So I'm going to move it away from the 5-year monthly to the 1-year weekly. And as we were talking about on Tuesday, price is starting to threaten our blue line, the 8-day EMA. So with price on the Russell trading below the 8-day EMA now on both the weekly, we're looking at the weekly chart here, and the daily. I'm not adding any new names to my watch list, but in the event that price does start to pick up here and find some support, I'm going to highlight a couple of past Chart of the Day Cafe picks that I think might be worth keeping an eye on. So just as a review, the black diagonal line of it goes back to the beginning of 2017 and offered that area of support. We're up and over the pink, but we're showing some price weakness. I'm filming this at about 8:45 on Thursday morning, and the futures are slightly lower. So we will see what transpires in the days ahead. And so, as mentioned, I am not going to put a new name forward for our watch list, but I am going to flag for you 3 past Chart of the Day Cafe picks that look interesting in this area should we get some pickup in the markets. And the first one is British Petroleum, BP. We're looking at the 2-year weekly chart. You can see on the 2-year weekly it's been uptrending. It was my Chart of the Day Cafe featured chart back here, green circle day. Oh, that was February 2017. I reiterated it here in March of 2018 at this area of support, and I'm going to put it forward again here as one to keep an eye on in this area as well. So I'm just going to put a little green circle there. We're looking at the weekly. I'll adjust that green circle on the daily. Just to reiterate on the scores, you know me, I'm all about the scores underneath my charts. BP, although it's been trading higher, it still has a really nice high value score. Current forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 21%, a PE of 16.17, and what I love about it, a dividend yield of 5.28%. So we're looking at the weekly chart. Let me swap it over to the daily. And there's my green circle. You know me, I'm all about price being up and over the blue, so I like that the volume's coming into BP. It is up and over the blue already. What I personally look for is a 3 and 8 cross. So we may get that 3 EMA moving up and over the blue today. on a good quality stock in an uptrend, worth keeping an eye on. I'm going to just move my little green circle to this area here and say, look, if we get a nice strong candle and we get that EMA cross, that would be a trigger for me. I know everyone has their own way of doing things. And the next one that I wanted to flag for you is Apollo Management Group, ticker symbol APO. This is in the financial space. We're looking at the 1-year weekly chart. It was a chart of the day cafe featured chart here, green circle day. Again, we're looking at the 1-year weekly. So it was bouncing off this area of support. We put it forward here. It had a nice run higher. It has come in. It's been consolidating sideways. But should the markets find some support here, I like the way APO looks in this area, and it still has brilliant scores. And again, I will reiterate, I'm all about the scores underneath my charts. So just to recap, it still has a very nice high value score, a current forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 16%, a PE of 9.83, and a dividend yield of 6.34%. Nice dividend. I'm going to move it away from the weekly. I just wanted to get that look to the daily. And as you can see, it bounced around this area of support. I'll be keeping an eye on it in this area. And should the markets find some footing here, I'll be looking for APO with those beautiful scores and that lovely dividend to perhaps move up and over my blue 8-day EMA. So I'm not touching it until it moves up and over. But this is worth keeping an eye on in this area for sure. And finally, the last one that I wanted to feature for you is a dual listed Canadian. It's Methanex. We're looking at it on the US side. I featured this one not too long ago. It is a chemical company. Let me just reiterate the scores for you. Still nice, beautiful, high value score. Current forecasted earnings growth rate of 32% going forward. Current PE of 14.57, and it has a dividend yield of 2.23%. So should the markets find their footing, definitely we'll be looking at this one. So just to recap, I'm going to move it in a little bit because we featured it not too long ago. I think it was on this day, expecting it to perhaps lift and get that 3 and 8 cross. It's traded below, but it looks to be consolidating, volumes picking up a little bit. So should we get a positive day today, I will be looking for Methanex to perhaps lift into my green circle and give me that 3 and 8 EMA cross. So it hasn't happened yet, but it's on my watch list. We'll see. So those are my 3 for you. I hope you have a great next couple of days. Enjoy the long weekend if you're Canadian, and we'll see you next Tuesday.